All right, so this video is all drama. So if that's not what you've signed up for, get out now. That said, I really hate making videos about drama. Contrary to what some people may think, I would rather be covering anything else. The reason that we're talking about this today is because the behavior that you're about to see is disgusting. It's absolutely reprehensible, pathetic, and it's essentially how you can actually destroy someone's life. So I definitely wanted to kind of expose this type of behavior and say, if you see someone doing this, definitely hold them accountable, because this is just unbelievably destructive and it's really hateful. So having said that, it does revolve around some accusations of some really heavy stuff. In particular, I get called a homophobe at several points throughout this. And so for those of you that don't know, I have been accused of homophobia before. I'm not going to get into the whole situation. I'll leave you with 2 comments on that so you know my stance on it. It does not make any sense to me to discriminate against someone for something that they didn't choose and can't change. I did not choose to be born straight. I did not choose to be born white. I would absolutely hate to be harassed for those things. So it doesn't even begin to make sense to me why I would harass someone else for that. So if you want to know me and my stance on this stuff, that's where I'm at. But anyway, here's a bit of a preview into the dark side of content creation and dealing with stuff like this. So our story starts around global launch, and it centers around 2 people. And of course, I get pulled into this. But the main 2 people, we've got the perpetrator, who, while I don't at all approve of their actions here, I'm not trying to drum up a mob to go harass this person. So I will be redacting their name. They have Stitch from Lilo and Stitch as their icon on Discord, so we're just going to call him Stitch. And the other individual is a friend of mine named Jakku. And I've known Jakku for a while. And again, in the interest of full transparency, Jakku is definitely a very blunt individual. He means well, but he's got a little bit of social autism to him. Jakku, the type of guy to see you after a haircut and ask, why does your hair look weird? Things like that, you know, he'll upset people sometimes without even realizing that he's going to, and he should probably know better. But he's definitely not a hateful guy. But this starts right around global launch, and we meet Stitch, and everyone gets along. We like Stitch, Stitch likes us. He starts hanging out and doing raid with us and doing spec ops with us. He ends up joining my alliance, and yeah, everything's pretty good. Then about a month in, there is a spat between Stitch and Jakku. And it starts in a spec ops run. The way that we do spec ops is we take turns funneling a good score to each of the people in the group. And so we kind of go until everyone has a score that they're happy with. And that's just how we do spec ops. And so there's a clash. Jakku calls out Stitch for making a mistake. And Stitch does not have a good reaction to this. And essentially is like, screw you guys, I'm going home, and just rage quits the spec ops run. At which point now everyone else in the spec ops run's pretty upset because now they have to find another 4th and bring them in and, you know, get it all going again. So it's at that point Jakku's like, all right, I'm not doing spec ops with that guy anymore. He's messed it up, and then he doesn't even want to stick around to fix it. So yeah, I'll avoid him when we're doing spec ops. And that's pretty much the approach Jakku takes, is like, I'm not going to deal with that guy. And while, again, on both sides, they could make an effort to be more friendly, and you can see here, I am encouraging them to, you know, try to get along and rectify the situation, because I want all my friends to get along. It does not get better. It gets worse. The immediate reaction to that is Stitch says a lot of really hateful stuff, and it culminates with him telling Jakku to kill himself. At which point, one of my moderators is immediately like, we should probably ban Stitch. That's completely unacceptable, and yeah, I'm ready to get rid of this guy. And while that behavior is absolutely unacceptable, I always want to mediate the situation. I always believe in giving people a second chance and telling people, calm down. You know, I'm sure you were just upset. And all right, we had, you know, everyone said some colorful things, and people, you know, tensions were high. Let's calm down and see if we can smooth this out now. And that's not what happened. In fact, it got way worse, because as a result of the original spat, Stitch left our alliance. And while Jakku is not in our alliance, of course, he was always running stuff with us. So then Stitch went looking for another alliance and turned to the other really big alliance on our server, which Jakku was a member of. And so when Stitch went to apply over there, Jakku essentially told the guys over there, look, I don't think this guy's that good of a player. He's very problematic. I don't think we want him over here. And of course, word of this got back to Stitch, who was very upset that Jakku was talking behind his back, as he interpreted it. And so, yeah, it just kind of ratcheted up. But so we fast forward 24 hours and completely unprompted, Stitch comes into the voice chat. Jakku is already in there. And Stitch just comes in and immediately launches into an incredibly toxic rant, unprovoked. No one had even said anything to him at that point. And yet again, it culminates with him telling him to kill himself. He says some really horrible stuff. So I'll just let you guys hear the highlights, because what Stitch did not realize was at that exact moment, I was recording a video. So I got all of that on recording. So you can judge for yourself how the situation was at this point.
By the way, Jakku and DZ tonight, I'm gonna fucking kill you in your alliance. Life pool, you can go to fucking hell.
What the fuck, bro?
What the
I would like to see you try.
Bring it, bitch. You fat ass loser that can't even pay your electric bill because you put all the money into the game because you broke in your fucking computer.
Hold up. What makes you think I can't pay my electric bill?
What the toxicity?
You're on a fucking payment plan, bitch. You can't even pay your fucking electric bill, so try again.
No, I'm
you
not.
Fucking fat loser who has no life with an ego and you talk shit.
Yeah, why is this?
How about you come to me in front of my face and talk shit to me, motherfucker? Because I guarantee if you saw me in person, I will roll your fat ass down that fucking hill. Because just because I'm gay don't mean I ain't a man, and I would fuck you up.
Are you feeling okay?
Am I what?
Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling okay. I don't like him talking shit behind my back to everybody. 5 people from in-game told me that he's been talking shit behind my back, trying to not get me in the alliance. So I said, fuck it, I'm leaving the Discord.
Maybe he said you were going to be like this.
Don't talk behind my back and don't lie about me, and I won't be an enemy. It's that fucking simple. And Life Pool, you're a fucking snowflake.
Okay.
Cool. That's exactly what I said. I said I can be the nicest person you ever met, or I can be the biggest bitch you ever met.
So you're going with number 2 right now, and I'm going to ask you to stop.
Do you guys want to do Spec Ops or Omega War?
Yeah, we're going to do Spec Ops.
Do you have room?
Jakku started with his lies and his fucking talking behind my back. So
what did he lie about?
Bitch.
What did he lie about?
He sat there. He said, "I don't like you because you left Spec Ops 2 weeks ago." In the middle of it, when one, I worked a 24-hour workday, and I was hangry, and I was tired, and it's not my obligation to help everybody in Spec Ops. But
well, no, that kind of is the.
Then he sat there and lied and said that I never helped him again since then, which was a fucking lie because I had helped him the day before when he had said it, and the day before that when he had said it, and the day before that.
I muted him. I can't listen to this anymore.
So like I said, have fun and go kill yourself, bitch.
So yeah, very unacceptable stuff was said. And as soon as this was over, my moderator immediately banned him and was like, that's it. We can't have a guy on here telling people to kill themselves. And he's absolutely right. While I still wanted to try to resolve the situation, ultimately I can't fault my moderator for taking that action, because if you are a Discord partner, if you have someone on your server telling another member to kill themselves and you don't do anything about it, you can lose Discord partner. My moderator was looking out for us and issued the ban, and that's just how it played out. Now, before I could even attempt to rectify the server, I started getting some really nasty messages from Stitch. And keep in mind that at this point, I haven't taken a side, I haven't jumped in, but Stitch just assumed that since majority of the people in there were siding with Jakku, naturally, that meant that I was too. And so I started getting messages like you can see here. Fuck you and everyone who talks shit about me. I've had enough of everyone's bullshit. But it was this line that indicated to me this was going to become a big deal. And everyone knows you're a bigot. Now, I certainly hope that not everyone knows that, because it's not true. But yeah, clearly just trying to say anything to be hurtful. You know, that's why you lost your Amazon partnership, which, side note, I am still an Amazon associate. You're failing with MFR streaming and getting partnered with Netmarble. Maybe. But yeah, I've had enough of you all. He talks behind my back, starts shit. And you can see I'm not even firing back. I'm just saying, like, hey, man, you're not being very nice. Like, I want to help you in this. I don't know why you're doing this. And he says something, I have a right to defend myself. The things he said to me is why. And I'm like, I'm not even him, and you're attacking me. So he talks a ton of crap about me, and I defend myself. So you can see at this point, it's mainly, he's talking smack about me. That seems to be his issue. I'm like, I just heard you being toxic. Now you told someone to kill themselves. You accused me of being a bigot. Like, you need to pump the brakes here. And then he makes this statement, and this kind of kicks off really the issue at the heart of this video. He says, he told other members in Endgame I should be killed for being gay because it's against God. This is why I left their Discord. And as soon as I hear that, like, that is not at all something that I want to have anything to do with. That's completely unacceptable. And so, as you can see here, I immediately tell him, if you can prove that, I will absolutely take action on it. That is completely unacceptable. And then he's saying, well, he said it in their server, not yours, so I guess it doesn't matter. At which point I'm correcting him and saying, no, it matters to me because I don't want to be friends with someone like that. It matters to me on a personal level, whether it puts my career at risk or not. I do not want that in my social circle at all. And so he's saying, all right, I'll ask my friend if the message is still there. But so the accusation has been made. Jakku told him he should be killed for being gay because it's against God on the Endgame Discord server. So I obviously want to know the truth of the matter, so I am pressing him for proof. Now, I should mention at this point, this set off some alarm bells for me because I've known Jakku for years. He's never expressed any homophobia. But the other thing that set off some alarm bells for me is that Jakku, I've had some conversations with him in the years plus that I've known him, and essentially he thinks religion's kind of dumb. And so him telling someone that they should be killed because it's against God was kind of not something I expected Jakku to say. But again, maybe he pretends to be someone around me and he's someone else around other people. I don't know. So I want to get to the bottom of this, because if what Stitch is saying is true, this is very, very easy for me to rectify the situation. Jakku can go to hell and we'll bring Stitch back in, of course. And so, yeah, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. And so you can see here, I tell Stitch, if you can demonstrate that he's a bigot, I have no interest in protecting him. I don't tolerate that on my server. I don't tolerate that in my social circles. Get me that screenshot and we can clear this up real quick. I'll bounce his ass out of here, and that's a wrap. And it's at that point that Stitch sends me this. And this is some messages that they exchange. You can see here, Jakku is telling Stitch, you wonder why people don't like you. You're a diva who always complains. In biblical days, fags like you would be sentenced to death. Be thankful you're not in that time period. Typical gays, always trying to wreck someone's life. And you can see the responses from Stitch here. Please leave me alone. I had no issues with you until you started hating me. You've shown your true colors. Why are you still bothering me? I've asked you nicely to leave me alone. So it paints a pretty clear picture. Jakku is a piece of shit who is harassing Stitch for being gay, which is completely unacceptable. However, again, it's still something doesn't seem quite right. So I want to make sure that this is the case. And then, of course, we're going to enforce it. So I messaged Jakku about it. And in the meantime, I start getting messages like this from other members of the LGBTQ community on the server. Cass, I just want to say I'm going to be leaving the Discord server because of what Stitch has told me, especially that Jakku has said some pretty derogatory stuff and you still defended your friend. I don't want us to have any animosity, but I can't support someone who still defends comments like those. And again, I'm feeling horrible because the last thing that I want is for people to think that their orientation or their race or anything like that prohibits them from being part of my community, because what I love most about my community is that it's such a diverse group of people and so many people can learn so many things from one another. So yeah, this is terrible. And yeah, I want to rectify the situation right away. So I messaged Jakku and I send him that screenshot and I go, look, did you write this? And if he says anything except no, that's it. He's out of here. Simple fix. Except what he says is pretty interesting. He says, no, it's edited. He's not even in my history. And if you look at my picture, it doesn't quite match. The one that he sent you is zoomed in, so it's a screenshot taken from voice chat. So now we have to go back and look at the original message that we sent. In the meantime, Jakku says, I've never even sent a message to Stitch. You can see here, we've never exchanged DMs. And remember that at first the original claim was that Jakku was talking about him behind his back. And then later the claim was that he said that horrible stuff on the Endgame Discord. All of a sudden, the claim is that he has private messaged him directly, which would not be all right, let me go see if my friend can get the screenshot. It would be, let me just go right into my private messages and I'll send this to you right away. So there's a lot of things about this story that are not adding up. So you can see here, Jaku made a valid point. This is the image we were sent, and this is Jaku's actual profile. And so if you zoom in here, he's right. The profile icons do not match. That's pretty suspicious. And then there's another thing here that doesn't match, which is that Jaku's name only has a capital J, whereas in the screenshot we were sent, it's in all caps. Very, very fishy. So at this point, we go back to Stitch and we say, did you just send us something that's photoshopped showing this? And Stitch says, no, I'll show you, and sends a video showing, well, look, this ain't photoshopped. I can scroll it right here. Here's the thing. Stitch did not realize that by doing it this way, he exposed himself as a complete and total liar. And that's because once you look at the video footage, you can also see the timestamps of the messages. So you can see here, at this point, my moderators and I are finding all sorts of inconsistencies with this story. But the big one is the timestamps. If we look at the timestamps here, you can see that they were from the exact same day that I was having this conversation, saying, look, if you can send me proof that he had previously sent you these messages, I'll deal with it. Not only that, but the timestamps show that he had received those messages like 15 minutes before sending me proof. But he had already claimed that those messages existed. First, he claimed they were on the Endgame Discord server. Then they showed up in his PMs, but they showed up in his PMs 15 minutes before he sent them to me, which is several hours after he first mentioned that they existed. So at this point, he's outed himself as faking receiving anti-gay harassment from someone on my server and using that as an excuse to call that person a bigot and to call me a bigot. And I take this very seriously because this is the type of thing that can actually destroy my livelihood. It's entirely possible that this story can get picked up by someone and there will be a company that doesn't want to work with me or a viewer that doesn't want to support me. And the last thing that I want a group that already receives actual harassment from actual hateful people to think is that I'm just one more person that has something against them that they can't control, when I stand for the exact opposite, which is that I vehemently oppose that type of behavior and that type of rhetoric. So, yeah, this was just disgusting. And if this type of thing circulates, it can be absolutely devastating. So that's the conclusion of it. What do you guys make of this? I'm sure you know my thoughts on it, but I think it's pretty horrible. And so I wanted to put this out there. While this is my dream job, I don't enjoy every second of it. There's definitely some things I'd rather not deal with, and this is one of them. But yeah. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments below. And again, if you see something like this, hold them accountable. This is just very, very unethical, very hateful, and very hurtful. See you guys next time.